Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Josh and Jason Monday Christian and Conspiracy Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Monday. If you don't know me, I'm a Christian rapper, devoted husband, father, and Army veteran. Like to introduce you to my co-host. He's a Christian, devoted husband, and father. What's up, Jason? And my brother. What's up, Jason?
What's up, man? How's it going? How's everything going? And Alex, it is right. It's because you have
That's
your.
correct. Yeah.
All right. How's it going, Alex? How's it going, Josh? God bless everybody.
God bless you too. So we have an awesome guest, Alex. I heard him on the Flat Earth Files with George Hobbs, and someone actually sent me that episode and said, "Hey, he mentioned you, on this episode. You got to check it out." So I was listening to it, and Alex did an amazing job, and I think he'd be great for our show. And I contacted him, and he shot me the Flat Earth Files email, and now I'm getting on that show on Friday. So I want to thank you for that. But welcome to the show, Alex. And like I said, whatever you want to kind of get into, man, we're down to do this, man. If you want to talk biblical cosmology, we can. If you want to talk about anything, something different subject, we can also tear into that.
Okay, for sure. Yeah. So I guess I could start with a bit of an introduction to myself
Yes,
here.
sir.
So I'm 34 years old. I live in Alberta, close to Edmonton, but I grew up in Vancouver. So it's been a total life change moving out here. I have one half sibling. She currently lives in Florida. And yeah, basically my life, I kind of grew up basically like an atheist. I never really went to church much, anything like that growing up. Um, I was a big metalhead back in the day. I went to a lot of concerts and everything like that. And my first introduction to the whole rabbit hole of conspiracies and all that was back when I was around, say, about 17, 18 years old, when I was with a group of friends and they kind of mentioned to me about the Illuminati, and I never heard this before. And that just set me off. And I just went off and I just researched. And I was like, this is weird, man. Like, what's going on here? And then I looked into a whole bunch of different things. Like, one of the main things I looked into was like the Denver airport conspiracy and all the,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, the murals and the
Yep.
Masonic, what do you call it? That
The
time
time,
capsule.
yeah, time capsules in
Yeah,
there. There's a whole bunch of stuff, man, about the black horse, the pale black horses out front, and or pale blue horse, I guess. There's a whole
with
bunch
the
of
red
stuff to
eyes.
that,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, dude. There's a lot of stuff to that airport that's crazy. Underground military base underneath, massive
the
stuff, and
the airstrips themselves are shaped like a swastika.
it's crazy.
Yeah, why even have that?
Uh
It's
they
like, why even
just
have an airport like that? Like, why would you have all of like the weirdest things you could possibly think of in one spot? Like, and you're about to go on a flight. You're like, I'm
yeah.
gonna leave right now, and yeah, this is great. I'm glad I'm gonna be floated like a demonic spirit before I get on this plane. This is a wonderful, wonderful flight out of
Yeah,
Denver.
right. You're trying to pray to God before you get on, not do that. But
Yeah.
keep going, Alex. What else you got?
for sure. So, um, where can I go here? So
So let's ask
another
you this. Let's ask you this. So you said that you were atheist. So what, you did get into conspiracies. So what kind of brought you into like believing in God, or what kind of sparked your interest in digging down that rabbit hole?
basically flat Earth, I'd say was like the number one thing for sure. And that was about 2 years ago, I think, give
Okay.
or take. I started getting into that, but
So the
everything,
fruit of flat earth, man, I'm telling you guys, man, there's fruit in the flat earth that helps people come to God, man. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people. I've seen so many testimonies. A lot of people tell me, about, the show that we do and all this stuff that, dude, there's fruit, we know them by their fruits is what Jesus says, right? And he's talking about people, by the fruits that people give. But also we know, what we're teaching by its fruits. So I think it's interesting, man, that helped you come to come believe in God. But go ahead and keep going, man. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
yeah, no worries. Yeah, so I looked into that, and that's kind of basically what really got me going. But it was actually COVID and everything that kind of really kind of triggered me to wake up and question things.
Yeah.
But I met a group of, I met a Christian family off of Facebook. Um, it's a bit of a story behind that, but they invited me to their house, and they're honestly the kindest, most gentle people I've ever met in my life. And They they were the first ones to teach me about, like, because they don't celebrate Christmas. I don't know if that's where your thoughts are on that, but I
Oh,
learned a lot of
dude.
stuff about that for sure.
Oh yeah, we're our thoughts on that is well, Jason would say. I mean, we both have the same agreement. My dad, when we were younger, even though obviously it bothered us as kids because we want to, we want Christmas presents, but my dad, when we were younger, he told us, about that it's not Jesus's birthday, and he told us that it's a pagan holiday when we were young. So there was a few Christmases we didn't celebrate it, but then he kind of compromised and went back to it a little bit. So, but me and Jason both are staunch, don't we don't celebrate it. We know it's not Jesus' birthday. We know about the whole, if you go, you go back to 325 and they mix
I don't
paganism.
celebrate any holidays anymore, bro. And it's not just because I'm not trying to get out of like, oh, you don't want to be paying for something for It's about the
Hmm.
kids. That doesn't matter. Like Valentine's Day all the way through. It's like, come on. You're not gonna sucker me into to some stupid pagan worship of some deity from back in like the 1800s or the 1600s. I'm not trying to do that. It's weird how people just keep thinking they can do that, and it's little things creep in. You get Halloween in there. You got, I mean, Thanksgiving's all right, I guess. You got the family together, and mostly it's people. A lot of people are praying, but the right thing is you can't. It doesn't really say celebrate Jesus's birth. You know what I mean? It doesn't say it does not say anywhere in the Bible that you should celebrate Jesus' birth. I get it, but it does say celebrate his death. It's all about his death. Yes, he came to this earth, but it's more about the death of him and the redemption of the story of him, not the. Because how can you get the day? Nobody knows the day. I never said, it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible to have a birthday. Does it say anywhere it says have a
Yeah,
birthday? Never. I never even that could be another pagan way to celebrate something where you guys all chant and sing happy birthday, and like who knows what that is. I don't. I was always fine with not having a birthday because I grew up poor, so it didn't really bother me. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you're from
I
Canada too, bro. Shout out to Canada. I like Canada. It's like, hey,
We always have cool guests from Canada, man. I
yeah, I
like
know.
Alex,
I
dude.
like Canada.
I could tell Alex is going to be a good guest. Yeah. We have everybody that we have from Canada is always good, dude. Oh, Jay.
Yeah, they're just wonderful people. It's like, why can't Americans be more like Canadians?
We have great American guests, dude. Come on, you're tripping. Anyways, go ahead,
What?
Alex. Then
But it's like the whole world's going to crap, but it feels like America is like right up there with it's like they're
Canada.
no,
No, just kidding.
Canada. Like Canada is like there's too much open land in Canada. Okay, so it's like if you don't got like a huge, like how many people live in Canada? Like what,
I
eight
don't
think it's
even. I
like
million?
don't,
Like 5 million?
35,
35 million?
35 or so, something around there. Yeah.
Yeah, so and that's scattered out through the whole and most of the countries inhabited, it's like freaking
most of
cold.
ours. Oh, up there.
No,
Oh, I
there's
haven't. Okay,
Bigfoot everywhere, bro. Things like that. You got to worry about a lot of stuff in Canada.
yeah.
It's not like you go across the street and play in I don't even. Oh, there's a couple dogs running. Roll up on a grizzly bear. You're like, oh man,
I'm
an
sure
extra
not
pair
all
of
of Canada's like
shorts.
that.
Most, I bet you there's a lot of animals out there. Moose, you gotta
Yeah.
watch out for moose. You
I
gotta watch
actually
out
live
for.
I live about 10 minutes away from a national park, and there's bison out there.
Wow,
See,
that's
Tons of
you
awesome.
screw
bison, yeah.
around and you like sit down having a cup of coffee and get nailed by a buffalo. You're just like, what the heck was that? What was that? It's like, hey, is that dog poop? No, doggy. That's Tyrannosaurus crap.
All right,
It's
go
a
ahead, Alex. That's a
bison.
rough subject.
No, we're not. It's all
Um,
good. Fun subject.
Oh, you're so funny.
Shout out
so
to
so going back to this Christmas thing, have you guys ever looked at this analogy with December 25th and the winter solstice and all that?
Oh yeah,
How
dude, for sure.
yes.
kind
Yeah.
of like I don't know if it's
Saturnalia, bro. It's
Every
called
year,
Saturnalia, yeah.
every year instead of celebrating Christmas, I tear into it. Like I try to find I try to find like new things about it. It's like the summer solstice, yeah, Saturnalia,
Yeah.
Nimrod, Tammuz type of stuff.
Mithra, all these different gods, man. There's 12
like
different gods' birthday for that
it's
for
like
December 25th.
celebrating your wife's birthday on your ex-girlfriend's birthday. You're
Yeah.
not gonna do that. It's like we're gonna do that this year, babe. How do you like to do that? He's like, you're like no. Why are we
It's like
celebrating
celebrating. Yeah, it's like celebrating your ex-girlfriend's birthday
on your wife? Yeah, so it's
like
either
telling
way.
your wife that. Yeah, yeah,
Either
exactly.
or,
That's
either
it.
or. You're screwed.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
shouldn't
yeah.
be doing that. It's either or. And it's like more, you start to see of it when you read into it, it's more spiritual fornication than it is anything. And that's a lot of adultery in the Bible is not always just cheating on your wife and lusting after your friend's girl, stuff like that. Excuse me. But it's also spiritual adultery where you're breaking away from your actual first love, which you should be really, that should be your relationship concentrate on most. And it's hard these days because you got a wife, kids, job, you got everything thrown at you in life just not to get you to pay attention to what you're supposed to be paying attention to. And someone said the other day, I was listening, they said, well, you don't have to read the Bible every day and just blah. It's like, well, you know what, you should. Why not? Like, don't just you should bury yourself in it, and really figure it out, and not just take a few, sentences and everything. You got to take things out of context and just like, oh wow, let's make a one verse theology and celebrate Christmas and Halloween, and people don't understand. Like you're opening yourself up to even the world up to like, lying spirits, things like that. Halloween is all about that. And and you let people let their kids, who knows who prays over your candy that they hand out to people, who knows whose house you're going to. That could be one house could be a great, great Christian house. Next could be some sick sadistic, guy that just, worships Satan. And he's just like, I hope this candy does, does
That's
your
a lot of
work.
evil.
Yeah. And yeah, whoever consumes, what I mean? Stuff like that. And you're like, wow, man. That's why I say don't let people touch your kids. Watch. I don't know if you ever had this too. Like I go to a store and like older people, like it's usually older, like Latino or maybe like just there's like, oh, your babies are so pretty. Can I touch them? It's like, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, in China, when I went to China, this lady was trying to hold my baby. She's like, I was like,
Yeah, it's like, let me suck the life force out of your baby. You're like, no, get away from me. They're like, oh, I just want to touch the baby. It's like, no. Why do you keep saying baby like that? Like you want to you touch the baby. Chill out, dude.
adrenochrome. I mean,
Yeah.
baby. No, I'm just kidding. All
Let me
right,
just
Alex.
bite baby.
So what did you study, man, on the Saturnalia so we could?
So yeah, I've been looking a lot into that. So um Saturday, like when it comes to days of the week, I don't know what you guys consider the first day. Some people say Sunday, some people say Monday, right?
Yeah,
I've always gone with Monday.
that's
And
what I always
then
thought it was. But then biblically, I think it's Sunday, though. Yeah.
but if you start at Monday, you got Saturday, which is
Yeah, it's a
derived from
God. And you're giving
Saturnalia, and
homage
it's
to a God every
kind of
time you say it. Yep. And my last name is Monday. So
Moon
Moon
Day.
Day. Great.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
so
we're screwed
Saturday
too.
fall would be the sixth day, and then Sunday would be the seventh day
Yeah.
if you start at Monday. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So also when you look at the heliocentric model,
Uh-huh.
Saturn is what, the sixth planet from the sun, right?
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
And then have you looked into the whole thing where NASA tells us about this whole hexagon shaped storm at the North Pole of Saturn?
I've heard about it.
Yeah, so it's like
Like a
it's
cube,
apparent.
basically, right? It's
Yeah,
like the
so
cube. It's a hexagon. Is it like, okay, I have to check that out. I've heard about it, but go ahead.
yeah, so this whole black cube worship thing is tied in with Saturn worship and
Yep.
Saturn because they tell us there's this, like I said, like this black hexagon shaped storm at the North Pole, and the black
Black
cube
star.
and the hexagon is one and the same, because if you draw a perfect hexagon and you put three lines in it symmetrically, you're also drawing a 3D cube.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting, man. And we see, even the Brotherhood of Saturnalia from Germany. That was a big secret society back in for the Nazis, and I think Werner von Braun was also probably involved in that type of deal. That's why when he came over here, he did the Saturn V. That's kind of giving homage to Saturnalia and also Saturn, the god. So
Right.
that's why they end up going with the Apollo, and they just put everything right in our faces, man, and just flip off the Lord. That's what they're trying to do, man.
Well, because biblical cosmology too has a story in it. Virgo, all that stuff it's not, everybody puts it as like astrology. It's like, oh, you gotta no, there's a
The
story in this.
Mazaroth is what it's called in the
Yes,
Hebrews.
yes, there's a story in the sky, and it's crazy that the Virgo constellation has to do with the Zebulon tribe. I think that's near Nazareth. Like that's where Jesus was born, or in Bethlehem, but that's where he's a Nazarene or Nazarite or Nazarene. I guess that's how you say it. But there's just certain things that are like the Lion of Judah, Leo. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like people take it as they take it this side when it really was meant something in the sky, and you read it, and if you could tell, the sky tells you the stories of things, and it's pretty crazy if you really get into it, that it all lines up with certain things, certain moons. The Jewish people, they go by new moons, and they go by moon cycles. They don't go by days or months. Every feast is on a certain moon. You know what I mean? So
That's
it's
why
like
it
a
says,
weird.
that's why Genesis even says it, bro. It's like, let there be lights in the, this is from the CJB. So it's let there be lights in the dome of the sky to divide the day from the night. Let them be for signs, seasons, days, and years. Let them be for lights in the dome of the sky to give light to the earth. That is how it was. So it's for signs, seasons, days, and years. It's
And
meant
also, but
for,
the
the
days,
lights
hold
are
on, the days started in the evening, not the not and that's when the day, from the evening to the next, it was,
to
that's
the
what
morning.
the,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's, and look how the devil has twisted it backwards, where we're doing daytime work and we sleep at night. We should be awake at night, probably just because that's what he wants you to keep eye on what the constellations are doing, everything what's going on out there. There's a story that's going on. It's all going to line up at the end when you have certain things that there's prophecy in the sky. Jesus was what they follow to get to find Jesus, a
Well, if you
star.
want to get real
You think that
crazy, bro,
star just came out of nowhere? It's
if you
not a
want to get
star.
real if you want to get real crazy, bro, like look how many times it says that angels are stars in the Bible, bro.
Well,
So
they're lights in the sky.
yeah,
They're
dude, if you actually take a telescope and you look at them, you're gonna see them look like the wheel within a wheel that was in the book of Ezekiel, the stars. So
yeah,
I'm
but
Yeah,
thinking
and
about
then
taking.
they watch over us.
Go ahead, Alex. What's
and
up?
not only that, but when you zoom in on them, it
Yeah,
almost looks like they have like a water ripple effect, as if
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
them singing, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Because it's like there's a frequency when people sing. This
yeah.
is something I heard from Rod Tidwell. I'm not trying, it's Pastor Rod Tidwell. I'm not trying to bite anybody's stuff. Just I like the stuff that he was talking about, man. I just heard him today and it was amazing. But he was saying, dude, and shout out to him too. He's coming on the show on March 1st. He's really good for biblical cosmology. He was saying there's a frequency when they sing, and when you hear in Job, it talks about the angels are cheering or angels are singing when God laid the foundations of the earth. I think
All heaven
there's
applauded,
something to it, man. Something to it, bro. I'm
bro.
telling you,
Like,
man.
and frequencies are real, bro. I'm learning about them in a pump class at my job, where you get a resident frequency of a pump that is running the same frequency as the other pump. It'll vibrate everything, and all you gotta do is bump that speed a little bit faster, and skip those frequencies, and you'll never have it's like, oh, your pump's messed up. It's like, no, dude, your frequencies in this room are getting, and they excite the other parts of the building, bro, where you could hit a frequency, you could bring down a whole building, you could
Yeah.
bring down a bridge. It's like a
Interesting.
weirdest thing in the world. Like, frequencies are real. Like, your body runs off of frequencies. You could play a 420s frequency. Is it 420 frequency? And like, that's what the Beatles played at, right? Like a 420 frequency to keep you.
Or it's 440
Yeah.
versus
Yes.
432. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, 420. My bad. I'm thinking about something else. Ha ha ha! Just kidding. Told
All
me.
right. But yeah, that's all interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. But go ahead, brother. We're we're going everywhere. It's all good. I love it.
It's all good. But another thing I wanted to mention about this whole black cube thing.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know if you know about this, but in Jewish tradition, there's something called I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, phylactery.
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 That's all right. Go
It's
ahead.
so it's like a tradition where um they'll put like a small black leather cube-shaped box containing scripture written inside of them, and they'll wear one on the head and one on, I think it's the left arm.
Hmm. I haven't
And
heard of
that's
this.
interesting because doesn't that kind of sound a little bit like Mark of the Beast or something like that?
Yeah, it does, man. And it's a cube with the scripture on it.
Yeah, it's like a black
Hmm.
cube
I
made
haven't
out of
heard of
leather.
that, bro.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing, man. I just ran into it like a couple months ago, but I haven't really I don't know a whole lot about this whole black cube stuff, but there's definitely something to it, man. And like look at your TVs and your phones and everything. I know they're not cubes, but they're still
Yeah.
three-dimensional blacks, you know.
Yeah, and there's also some of the stars. You'll see the black cube, you'll see the black goo in videos.
What about the black star? Like
there's a whole
that was pretty cool. Our last guest was talking about that stuff, or the black
Oh, you thought it
star.
was cool? I thought it was when it's all
No,
right.
dude, because these dude,
I
if
asked him if it was in the Bible. He was just like,
no, not saying the Bible, bro, but it does say
he's just
that it's for the signs
I like
and
him
the
though.
seasons. I'm not
Terrell's
talking about that, bro, but there
Terrell's
are
good, man.
things that appear,
He's a
bro, in
cool
the
guy, man.
sky when things happen. Okay, like they say Mars was closer to the Earth at the point in time when Joshua that day of the longest day of Joshua and the God stopped the Earth or whatever.
Talking about
That's
Joshua 10, yeah.
yeah. So they're saying that at that time, that's why people were so scared of Mars and stuff like and they say it was closer than it was. But how do I know that's I don't know what that is. It doesn't describe what that was. It just says a certain thing, like a planet like came down and just it's
What are we talking about?
what do you mean? No, like there's things in the sky that you have to understand that do appear when things go on. Like look at
Oh, okay. So
you
you're
can't
saying,
say, the star of the Bible that shows where Jesus was at. You're like, well, that never happened, bro. That just
I never no, I didn't say
well, I
that
say
didn't
like
happen.
you're like the black star is like that's something that's in the sky that appeared when the flood happened. It did. That's and it appears when yes, it did. That when you go back and look at how
The black star appeared. Where was that? Where'd you hear that at though? Where'd you find that information?
I was reading up on it like on a few things on
The thing
on
is,
the interweb, bro. But when you get into it, like look at it, it's like it's a real thing.
okay, so that's what I was asking him. I wanted to find out where he got it because he's talking about the black star. I don't want to get into that because we're
It's
talking
a
about a whole
star
different
that's
thing.
in the sky that like comes every
It's
2,000 years. Yes, it's
okay.
so like it's happened
just-
when the deluge of the flood or whatever that was.
I want to know if he got this information from his science teaching or the biblical teaching. That's what I was wondering because I don't know where the black.
No. He probably that's what I'm saying. He probably got it from a science teacher. But how do I know that's not a star that's just like, it's in the sky, and God says to look for those things in the sky that will tell you what's going to happen. So if you look at the sky right now, and you see a star falling right now. You're like, well, that's pretty crazy. But if you see it landed right in front of you, you're gonna be like, what the heck is this, dude? So it's gonna be you're gonna know it's real. It's not just space poop flying around in your face, bro. It's like you do see falling stars. I don't know what that could be. That could be what if an angel's coming down to earth at that point? You know what I mean? Like how do I know that's not you know what I mean?
You mean like meteors? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like so how do you know there's black stars and this star of destruction? Maybe that's Apollyon. Who knows that's the star that comes by?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's why I was just trying to dig where he got that. Well, I'll ask him on the
because you say that stars look like you say the stars are angels, right? I don't know. This black stars, not the.
I'm saying they might be angels. I'm not 100% on that.
Like, what about the angel of death? He came down and killed the whole. How do I know that wasn't a star that came down? You know what I mean? How do I know that's not how it happened? Because they don't talk about it, but it's like there's certain things in the sky that do come around, and you gotta be like, wow, what is that? Like.
It talks about the cosmology is so important in the Bible, bro. That's why it's important because like you're saying, I'm not saying anything, dude. Like, to be honest, cosmology is so important, bro. It's talking about the end times, stars are going to fall to the earth. It talks about the black or the sun being darkened. The moon's not going to give her light. All these, the red moon, all these different things. And that's why cosmology is so important, but everybody wants to put it off, though.
Okay, but hold on. When you were a kid, remember you go like to you guys, I'm pretty sure, Alex, you probably had this when you were a kid. You would go to that little, and if there was an eclipse, you guys you like make a little thing to look at the eclipse, right? You'd have You know what I'm saying, Josh? Like little
Yeah,
things.
yeah. It's like this little.
Do you
square
remember?
thing with this, like,
Do you remember the eclipses happen every week? No, it was like once every like 20 years. This was going on. Now it's like every month there's a new eclipse. There's a freaking solar eclipse. It's like, dude, I don't remember these eclipses happen this many times back when I was a kid. It was like a once like in like
We
every
probably-
10-year thing.
we
No,
probably
bro,
would
come
just didn't
on, bro.
listen
No,
like
no.
that.
What do you mean? They would talk about it all the time on the news.
Yeah.
And when it was only like every 10 years would be an eclipse. Now it's like every 15 days there's like a new eclipse. How do I know that's not the way God was trying to tell you? Hey, the sun is going to lose its light. After a while, it's just going to start getting, they're going to start having more eclipses. The blood moons come out. There's other things like that. That's trippy stuff you could talk about. Those are weird. That's a weird subject because they're saying that there was blood moons on certain days that like when the Jewish people got their land back in Israel, there was stuff like that. It's all could be all speculation, but it could all be all true. I don't know.
Well, going off of that, have you guys ever heard about this 13-month calendar that's being proposed?
Yep. I just started hearing about that recently.
And I don't know what you guys think about that, but it seems kind of fishy to me. I mean, for one, you got the number 13. And the extra month that they're adding in, they're calling it Soul, I believe.
Oh, it's called Soul? I don't know
Yeah.
that. Wow. So it's the sun. Jeez.
Right.
They
So
always
I-
got some kind of
Well,
January to
Friday,
January.
right?
All of it is all these gods, man. Thursdays for Thor. I mean, all of it. So Soul is like for basically sun god. So all right. I think I've heard of it though. 13 months, and I think the real New Year was like in March 1st, I believe, or either April 1st or March 1st. Everything's always inverted, man. The devil's gonna invert everything, dude, including cosmology, including how we were created. I mean, all the stuff that we see, dude, is just we've been lied to, man. It's just we're always fighting against the devil, man. It's always God versus the devil, and everything we do, man. People just don't realize that,
You see that Amazon video?
What?
Amazon cartoon where they like say like, oh,
It's called Gnosticism, bro. Like where they want
that's
to make
weird.
they want to make the
dude.
devil seem like the good guy and God the bad guy. That's
No, he wanted to
Gnosticism
come down and help
bro.
us, and you're
Yeah.
not. It's like, what the hell are you doing, dude?
It's all, dude. That's how all Gnosticism is. All Hollywood is like that, man. They're like the
Naughty
Matrix.
Jeff Bezos, naughty man. Why would you do that?
They want people to feel like that God has us stuck in here, and it's the devil's the good one trying to give us that's why they want us to the devil wants us to be like gods, and God wants to stop us from doing that. That's how they make it, man. It's all Gnosticism, man. That's the Freemasons to the core. That's Hollywood to the core. All that stuff, bro. It's all inverted, like we talked about.
We are stuck here.
That is true. They invert everything. Like, where do I even begin? Like,
they invert the cross, even everything, bro. They don't care.
Everything's inverted, like we said. Cosmology, man. They talk about the stars coming first, and they talk about the sun, and then the earth. And then you look at the Bible, and it's totally opposite. The earth is first, then the
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I know this might be a touchy subject for some, but the whole pride agenda, turning men into women, women into men,
Yeah. God said be fruitful and multiply, and then you're not going to be able to, obviously multiply like that. And
that's a whole nother demon in all itself, bro.
Yeah.
Pride is the first really. God hates that more than anything, dude. Is having pride like that. So it's like,
yeah,
God all day long.
That whole thing is just heartbreaking because they're doing this to kids who don't know better, right? They're just taking advantage of minds that are easy to manipulate so that they can.
It's because there's weak men around. There's a bunch of weak men around these days that don't. And it's not there's just I see it all the time now, just weak-minded men everywhere now. And I used to be the same way. Then when you snap out of it, when you get a little certain age, I think it is. I don't know about you, Josh, but you hit that age where you're like, wow, there are some really weak men in this world right now, dude. And it's like, you see it in jobs, you see it in movies, you see it in music, you see it in everyday life, just weak men and leading you're leading this generation into into hell, basically, because you're weak pastures now, weak. It's all just like very watered down. It's like no one's afraid of God anymore. They think God's their buddy, and they're like, oh, God's my buddy, and I can, he's just gonna be there for me, and I can do whatever I want, when I want, how I want, because they even have their own churches now. It's like you see the stuff, he's like, oh God, this guy's wearing what is that, like a pastor, a priest, like what is that, black, and he has like purple hair, and it's like, oh, don't you better stop and just love, Jesus loves you. And it's like, yeah, he does love you, but what the heck, what are you even thinking right now? You can't just, it's like, I do whatever I want when I want, and he still loves me. Like, there's gonna be a point, yeah, he does, until that point in time when you die, and whatever, there's a point in time when you're gonna die, and then wherever you're in at that time, you're gonna be in at that time, and then he's gonna be like, I don't know you. He loves you all the way until then, until that time. It's like, well, nobody told me about this. Like, well, you were off preaching about something else, dude, or whatever
it's
you
really,
are.
It's really sad. It's really sad for the people, though, man. We got to pray for them, because that's when they're confused.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
prayer is not a substitute for stupidity, bro.
Stupidity. We just need to pray for
stupidity.
them, man, because that's hard. It's hard, man. It's sad that people are confused like that. I'm glad I wasn't born like confused, or whatever problem they have in their head, man. It's tough, man. I know a couple of people that are gay, and one of them kind of wants to try to become Christian, and that's a tough place to be in, man. I'm telling you, it is. I mean, I know that we want to say that kind of stuff, but we got to watch.
But we're all that. You're a murderer, bro. I'm a murderer.
We're all sinners, man.
I'm a liar.
Sinners,
there's nothing that doesn't.
Can you imagine how hard that is, though, when someone is like that, dude, and like they're attracted to the opposite sex, and they're trying to be Christian? It's a tough thing, man.
Bro,
it must be very hard for them. But anyways,
it is very hard. It's horrible situation,
but Alex is right, though. When you're talking about people going in and affecting children, Jesus says that you're better off having a millstone wrapped around your neck and dropped in the deepest part of the ocean than to try to make one of these little ones stumble. So yes, and like Jason said, we are all murderers, sinners, liars. And I mean, we have nowhere to talk, man. Even though people are gay, I mean, God's not going to say like, "Oh, you're gay, so you're definitely not coming to heaven. You're a murderer, a liar, adulterer. You're coming." No, man. The Bible's pretty specific, So about who's, it talks about sexual idolatry, adulterers, all this stuff will not inherit the kingdom of heaven, bro. So
it's hard.
Not just about homosexuality.
I know, but but I gotta have to say, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna tolerate it. I'm not going to be like, hey, man,
there's a lot of gaslighting from different.
But you condone it, bro. People condone it. When they see the movie stars doing it because they're off they're doing a higher level of drugs or whatever the heck they're doing. They go and experiment, and they're like, oh, well, this guy does it. It's pretty cool. Dwayne Wade's daughter or son, whatever that freak looks like that is. And it's like, hey, there you go. Hey, man, they pay us. I married a movie star. They pay us to do all this stuff. Now it's like, okay, since you're this famous, we want one of your kids. See what I'm saying? Like, how do you know they don't do that stuff to these people? And they're like, yeah, well, I guess I think
they do. They got to sacrifice. That's how you get famous.
Yep. And then now your kid's a freak show now. But it's so accepted now. Can't even say that. It's pretty bad. It's pretty disgusting that you would let your kid can't even make dude, if you let a kid make his own choices, he would eat his boogers and catch 50 packets of ketchup. There you go. And stuff like that. He's like, dude, you can't let a kid make a decision. That's why God gives parent anything, authority figure over you. That's why you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to read the Bible. If people would just gotta make a choice. There's a choice. What you can't be, how would you say? I think there's no such thing as halfway crooks. You can't half step. You can't do it. And I'm gonna admit it, I have stepped my whole life, but now I'm trying to really not to half step. And it's like, do I do this? Do I stick up for this guy? This guy looks like he needs help, but can I trust him? But no, you just got to go full foot. It's like, screw it, 100%. I'm going to go full bore.
Yeah.
dude.
It's tough, man.
It is tough. It's tough for everybody. It's tough for all. It's just gay, transgender, whatever you are, black, white, Mexican, yellow, Chinese, up, down. It's tough for all of us. So instead of fighting with each other and worrying about what gender you are, let's get together and,
Absolutely. And if you
let's get
actually,
together.
the same thing with politics too, left or right, it's just everything's just there to divide. That's it, right?
Yeah, they're
Take your team.
gaslighting the LGBT
Mhm.
community too, man. It's just all they're doing is
Yeah.
just putting it all over the news so that the Republicans get mad about it, and then then all of a sudden this person will come out and say, "Well, I'm going to take care of that problem." Okay, well, I'll vote for him. Oh, this is just a bunch of gaslighting, bro.
Yeah, but
Like, to
you
be
got
honest, dude.
politicians that are touching little kids,
That's
going
what
to
I'm
do their
saying.
little
They're all
thing.
doing the same thing.
If you're rich, you can do whatever you want. It's come to the point in time where people are going to get, I think right now, they're like, oh, we're going to build our little underground things. We're going to get out of here if there's any social uproar. Yeah, dude, because we're going to become looking for you because we're tired of you. We don't care about, there's going to come a point in life where black, white, race, none of that's going to matter. We're lined
It's
up
who you
together
are.
right here. Yeah, who do you really serve? Who do you serve right now? That's it.
Mhm.
If you serve that side, then you stay on that side and don't come on this side. That's going to point in time. I want to draw that line where it's like, hey, you if you really want to go and get, there's going to be a time when there's going to be so much social uproar soon. I feel like and
Well,
I know it's coming, bro. It doesn't matter
they're
what.
finally getting exposed, so that's good, man.
Bro, Texas, they're flooding their borders. You got farmers in Texas lined up with their trucks and stuff like that. You got a lot of things going on that never happened since when? The Civil War. You do your thing, we'll do our thing. Leave us alone. No. You make money, Texas. We want you in our circle. If you want to leave, we're gonna punish you.
They're doing it on purpose, though. That's
I
the thing.
know. That's what I'm saying.
Like
It's gonna
Alex
come
is
up.
talking about, like what they're doing, bro, is they're trying to herd people into going to Texas. They're trying to herd Republicans into living in Florida. They're herding them all there, and they're trying to cause a civil war because that's what they want, divide and conquer. So we think
But
that
there's gonna
hold
be a
on,
point
let
in
me stop quick.
time.
So they want you to think that there's this Republican person that's going to save them, and then they want someone to think that there's the Democratic person that's going to save them. But really, bro, they're all the same people. They're all just all evil, all join the same secret societies. I can show you right now. I could Google Greg Abbott.
I know, but what I'm saying, there's gonna be a point in time when the people
I'm just telling you, I
care
could
about that no
Google
more.
these Republican people that people think are really good, and I could show you that they've been part of a secret society, the same secret society as a liberal that's in the same one. So they've all already sold their soul to the devil already. They're all on that side, and there's not going to be anybody that's going to save us. And I know you know this, Jason, but the audience needs to know. They're trying to honeypot people into these, like, everybody go to Texas, everybody go to Florida. They're trying to do that on purpose. Dude, everything that's happening on the news, bro, at all times, you can see it from a mile away, is just agendas. And they're trying to push people a certain way. And they're trying to piss people off. That's what they're doing with the LGBT and all that stuff about people going into libraries and reading to kids. It's just to get people mad and gaslight them so that it's divide and conquer, like Alex was just talking about, man. I think you're on.
I go live in British Columbia and just
They want a civil war, dude.
dig in and be like, all right, you guys want to come to my place? It's all good, and I'll be right here. But if I really don't want to, if you guys don't.
Then there's that whole thing with Ron DeSantis and the whole book ban thing too.
Yeah.
And when I first heard that, I'm like, you know what? I think this guy's pretty awesome because he's trying to take these books, but again, he's a politician. And I just
look
don't know,
into
man.
him. So he was in Guantanamo Bay before, CIA. He's a CIA operative, man. Everybody doesn't know that, but he was in the military. He was in Guantanamo Bay before. He's also went to Harvard. If you look into the secret societies at Harvard, there's the Pig Club. There's all these different clubs. You know that he was part of secret society too. So Ron DeSantis, everybody thinks is like, all right, he's a good guy. Look at him. He's fighting against, the 19. I don't want to say the other word because we're on the internet. Fighting against all these rules. So then people go, oh, he must be the good guy. And then you look into him and you're like, dang, this is another scumbag. All the people that we think are good, even like including Donald Trump, all of them, bro. He went to a Jesuit school. Look into him, dude.
Yeah.
His mentor, dude, he had a hotel with little boys in it, dude. And I can't remember the guy's name. I knew it before, but anyways, dude, I'm not saying that Trump is like terrible. He's better for our country than Biden. Obviously, it's the best.
He's a lesser of two. There is no.
He's not. He's not like part of like, dude. He's at five. If you're a billionaire, you've never lived the same way that I've lived, or Jason's lived, or Alex has lived. He's already walked the walk for rich and elite the whole time, dude. So whether he's just the best salesman,
I know, but if the economy goes the crap, he is going to be the one suffering from it. That's why he's like, dude, he's just about money. They're all about money. All of them are about money. Nikki Haley's about money. All of them. I mean, even whatever that guy, Vivek Ram, whatever that guy's name is, they're all about money. They don't give a crap about nothing but that almighty dollar. And if push comes to shove, you can buy them off to, hey, push this agenda. Push this.
All of them are already they're selected for the position already.
There's going to be a point in time, and I feel like it's soon, where none of these, where people as in a whole are going to be like, we don't care if you're liberal. We're tired of it. Tired of it. Either you do stay on that side, or we're going to have some problems. And that's not going to be like, we're going to go to court, dude. You're going to have court in the street, and you're going to start having stuff like that going. It's like, why do you think they're talking about building bunkers, bro? You think these rich, spoon-fed, just I don't want to say it, but just probably not, they're not even human, they're soulless pieces of crap, right? Do you think they've survived like a poor person has on the streets doing stuff like that? No. So when the civil uproar comes, what you think they're gonna survive? And then when they come out of their little rat hole they come out of, who's gonna be standing out there but the cockroaches? Us. And we're like this. What's up, dude? How you been? Like, oh, I thought you guys all died. Oh crap!
Well, the Bible,
and we're gonna rip. And what do you think we're gonna teach our kids about? These people in the hills when they come out, anytime you see one, he missed them.
Now, isn't there a Bible verse about that?
Yes,
about
hiding in the mountains.
Kings will run in the hills. The kings will run in the
Yeah.
hills.
Let's see what that is.
Hide under the stone.
They're gonna hide in the mountain, but God's gonna dude. There's not gonna be any islands left when the tribulation happens. There's not gonna be any mountains, bro. Because
there's nowhere you're gonna be able to hide. There's nowhere to hide. His Shekinah glory is going to be over all of it, and whatever you did, or whatever you're doing.
Here we go. And this is Revelation 6:15. It says, and the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hid us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne. So they're actually running from Jesus, bro, when he comes back, right? So this is because Jesus is not coming back to play games. He's coming back as the judge, right? So they're scared of him because they know that they've done so much wrong to us and to the people and to God and all the stuff they've done that they're hiding from the judgment that Jesus is bringing on them. That's why they're hiding in the mountains. And they said that they want the rocks to fall on them. You know what I mean? So because they're hiding from him who's on the throne because they're so scared. So I think that this is just very interesting. The way that they say that the kings of the earth, which are the black nobility, these families like the Orsinis, the Medicis, and all these people that have been generation after generation with money and wealth and money and wealth and just keep on just, the all these different families that we've heard about, the Habsburg and the King Charles, all these different people that we've heard about. The black nobility are the kings of the earth, and the great men and the rich men. Obviously, those are going to be the elite bankers. I would say the Rothschilds and all the people that are IMF, International Monetary Fund, all the Trilateral Commission,
anybody who doesn't want to take that, that's gonna be all just
It says
scared.
the chief captains. I don't know what that is, but that's pretty interesting that they said that. You know, the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. I think that's interesting, man. It says, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from he who sitteth on the throne, from the wrath of the Lamb, which is Jesus. For that great day of the wrath is to come, who shall be where he stands. So I think it's man, that's great verse and interesting stuff that they are building bunkers and trying to hide out, which
He already came as a
Right.
servant. He already came as a servant. Now he's ready to come back as a freaking general, dude, as the top chief. And just why? Hey, it's all good. I welcome it. That's why I said we are trapped in down here, dude. We're just waiting to get unleashed into actually what we were really supposed, what we really are, because this is just a bag of skin. Basically, I'm in a bag of bones and a bag of skin, rotting away slowly. Having like I was thinking about today. I was like, man, there's gonna be a point in time where I'm gonna have to say goodbye to my kids and everything. And it's just like that's a sad feeling to think about when you're like you're you're already halfway through your life. I'm on my back. Well, I'm in the middle of I'm like hole number 8. I'm like on my yeah, and I'm about to hit my back 9 in about a couple years, and it's like that's not good. It's not good at all. It's not fun. It's like I don't even like to wake up. I bought myself a first pair of slip-on boots at work because I'm just tired. My buddy goes, "You just gave up, huh?" I'm like, "What, dude?" He's like, "You just gave up on life, huh? You can't even tie your own shoes anymore." I said, "I can't breathe. I can't bend over and breathe, dude. I can't pass out, bro. Tired of
Oh
tying
my
my
God.
shoes. I just want to slide them on and just walk, dragging my feet to work." Sorry.
Anything else you want to get into? It's all right. This is a pretty fun show.
No, it's all good. But yeah, it's interesting when you actually look at the world around you, you see prophecies being fulfilled from the Bible, right? Like the bunkers being built. What's another one? So in Revelations, they talk about a third of it. I can't remember the exact wording. I think they're saying trees or
Third of the people are gonna be dead. That's what's
one
basically gonna
third one
happen.
yeah, like one third of the trees are gonna burn up is what they're saying. That's what it says in the Bible, something along those lines. And then
Oh,
you look at what's going on now, and there's just tons and tons of what? Wildfires, right?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So I find that interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on. And there's different takes, obviously, on the end times. There's different takes, different
they basically
perceptions,
wiped out Hawaii. It basically wiped out all half of Hawaii. That's horrible. There's no one even talks about that anymore. It's like I don't even hear about that anymore. It was like, oh man, Hawaii's gone. Oh, okay, let's go back to whatever.
That
Yeah,
was so crazy, bro. How
yeah
that's
it's like
crazy.
it's happening. They did that probably to build their bunkers out there. They're probably like, hey, Hawaii's a pretty nice. Hawaii's a growing
I wouldn't
island.
even be I would definitely not be on an island, dude, because
It doesn't matter where you are,
I
bro.
know, but the Bible says, bro, that there will not be any islands left when the great tribulation happens. So these
Really
guys, if
think
they're
about
trying to
it.
live
We're all long islands. We're
Yeah.
all just a giant island, bro, in the middle of a vast ocean. How big is this thing, dude? Like, if only 5% of the ocean's been explored, how big and how much more land is out there? That's what trips me up.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I've gone in down that rabbit hole where, there could possibly be more land on the other side of the ice wall and all that. And it's I saw this clip on this Spider-Man video game that's out. I saw it on YouTube, and in this clip, they're showing the gameplay and they're showing Spider-Man going through a portal, and he pops out near the Antarctic ice wall. All he sees is giant ice wall, and he's swinging. And when he gets to a great height, you can see on the other side of the ice wall in this game, and you see more land out there.
oh, that's crazy.
It's weird, man,
Wow.
Oh,
but
oh, baby.
They're trying to get you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know if they're just screwing with us or what, because I know in the Bible it doesn't say anything about, if there's more land outside the ice wall, you're going to have another sun to,
yeah, see, that's what happened. I
right?
think
So it's,
I noticed this is what I've noticed, and no offense to anybody that's an extra land guy.
Well,
Have
what
you
if it's just a
noticed?
Nephilim? What if it's just a Nephilim that live out there and they're not humans, so they don't need the sun. They
Well,
don't need stuff like that we do. Ah, see,
yeah, I don't even want to say what I was gonna say.
extraterrestrial, extra. It's like the guys say extra land doesn't mean outer space.
Yeah,
So it's like
it's
they'll be coming
interesting, but
from over there.
I just noticed that a lot of the people that believe in the extra land, and I'm not saying that it's not biblical to believe in that, because I do believe. Okay, here's a verse that I think we that I think we should think about. So if Isaiah 40:22, it's he who sitteth upon the circle of the earth, right? So how is he sitting on the circle of the earth? Well, there's going to be a firmament, right? And then there's going to be water, and then God's throne is above it. That's how he's sitting on the circle of the earth. If you talk about like Amos 9:6, it talks about the vaulted dome. And if you look at what that word means, it's talking about it's what binds heaven to earth. So it's always about like earth and heaven being connected, if you notice in biblical cosmology. So I think there's a dome, bro. That's what that's what they believed. The Hebrews believed, and that's what I believe it is. Now where it connects is where, to the earth is interesting. That's the part where I don't know if there would be extra land or how far it would be. I don't know, man.
That's the other thing I don't get, because if there's a dome and the dome meets its ends at the ice wall, well, how are you going through the other side, right? Because you
Yeah.
have to go past the ice wall. You also have to go past the dome.
I
Yeah.
think that's probably as far you'll never reach it. You'll die before you get there. You know what I mean? Like you're going into a place where there's no. If you really got to travel that far, I don't think God will let you. God doesn't want you to. There's things that you shouldn't know, and if you do know and you see it or whatever it is, it's gonna probably it's I don't know, man. Because if there's things that haven't been explored, how do I know what's out there? How do I know what's really out there? Do you know what I mean? Like you go out
I
there in that blistering cold wind hitting you in the face, you're hiking out there and you're whatever you're driving, sooner or later, dude, you don't even know. I don't know, man.
they were saying that Admiral Byrd's planes were hitting an invisible like just like disappearing, basically hitting it like. So here's the thing, and you know what, that was in his, he was a Freemason. That was written in a journal that they say, some people say that was definitely his journal, some people say it wasn't, but they were saying that they thought that the Nazis had a force field technology already. So they thought that basically his planes were hitting the Nazis force field, but some people were saying they believe it was hitting the firmament. So it gets interesting. And if you notice when that happened, my internet connection is unstable. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Yep.
Okay, for some reason that popped up on my screen. But you notice that soon as they went for Operation Deep Freeze and Operation High Jump, that's immediately when they came back with the Antarctic Treaty. Admiral Byrd dies, his brother pushes the Antarctic Treaty, and then what happens is they start talking about hollow Earth. So they took it from flat Earth, which would be like the dome, and then they put that journal out, and everybody focused on hollow Earth, like, oh, he went into the Earth. Oh my goodness. So it's almost like that was like taking everybody off the rabbit trail of him actually finding the dome, which in 1958 encyclopedia talks about the dome being found in Antarctica, which is interesting. But it's almost like they took everybody off the rabbit trail and sent them on the hollow Earth rabbit trail to keep it that globe, instead of the flat Earth. So I think it's all really interesting stuff. That whole time frame right there, like 1957, 1958, 1959, the 1962 NASA forms, all these things were happening, bro, where they were just like, we need to get a hold of this quick, you know what I mean? And we can't let it
Mhm.
out. So if you
Yeah.
study all that, and even before they already had the globe already, obviously in 1920, they already had a globe. They were already trying to portray that, and Disney got involved, and I think Stanley Kubrick got involved. Warner von Braun, I think that they all got together, and if you notice it, dude, it's all pagan worship to gods, Artemis,
Handshake.
every single thing they do, bro. It's
Handshake.
all about pagan worship, and they're
Handshake.
high level Masons, everybody that's involved. And like I said, the Brotherhood of Saturnalia, they're taking a rocket that looks like a basically like a penis, and then
Yeah.
blowing it into the firmament, Thor's, which is like Operation Dominic, that all was happening at that same time, blowing it into the firmament. Like, dude, all these things were happening during that time that just points towards, what we think, what we believe. I think what you believe too, Alex,
And have you seen the last rocket Elon Musk launched had 33 engines apparently?
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Interesting number.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think this whole situation we're in that has led to the point we're at now has been built up over time, over the last couple centuries for sure. Like, I mean, I don't know. Have you guys ever seen the movie Metropolis? It came out in 1927. It's a German silent film. You may have heard of it, but
I've heard of it from Call for an Uprising, his show. I think he
yeah.
plays it on there. I believe I saw him play that movie before. But go ahead though, keep going on it.
Yeah, so in this movie, it basically tells a story of like a great city built on the hands of slaves, and it shows them working underground, and they're the ones that power the city basically, and then they bring in the deity Moloch, and it shows in the movie, it shows people entering the mouth of Moloch to be sacrificed, and then it also shows like a modern day Tower of Babel in the movie, and that's where
Wow.
like the ruler of the city lives. And on top of the tower, it shows like an inverted pentagram, and there's just the
Wow.
symbolism just goes on and on. It's crazy, man. And this came out in 1927.
Wow.
So think about that, right?
Yeah. And back then they didn't hide it. I mean, a lot of the movies that they had though, they would never show that type of stuff. So I think that's interesting that was on there. Yeah. I think I seen somebody play that before. I think it was on the Call for an Uprising, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think he did like a breakdown of that movie.
Yeah, it gets interesting, man. But and another thing I just noticed. Have you ever seen the movie Tron?
Yeah.
So I might be mistaken, but I am pretty sure. And this movie came out in the early 80s. I'm pretty sure the scene, the guy who works in the arcade and he has that room above the arcade. I swear I seen a pride flag on the wall in the movie. And this is the 80s.
You might have,
They
man.
didn't need, and
It's
then
crazy.
look at the logo for NBC, right?
Yep.
It's the same 6 colors.
Yep.
And when did they
Interesting.
come up with that logo? Way before the Pride agenda, right?
Yeah.
So I think all these things are kind of
Planned. Right.
they're all connected together
Yeah,
in
they're
one
all
form or the
planned,
other.
bro.
It's
Like,
all, yeah,
Satanist, man,
exactly.
he ain't dumb, man. He's very intelligent, very smart. He has a lot of time on his hands to find out humans and find out where our hot buttons, find out what gets us going, what doesn't, what he
Hmm.
needed to do for certain things to get people to go away from God, put out the evolution, put out Big Bang, put out all these science books, take all the Bibles out of the schools and place all these indoctrination on our children, make it look like a jail instead of somewhere that's like a great teaching area. It's like you're almost in a penitentiary when you're in school, like when you're in elementary,
Yeah.
you line up, you do this, you do that. So it's almost like it's just interesting how when you step back and you just look at what's happening from a biblical point of view, you kind of see life in a whole different manner. You just see the little games that Satan tries to play and what he does. And that's what this whole show is about, man, is exposing that type of stuff. And it's just it's on all different levels, like you said, CBS, and then you just look at Shell gas station is like a sun, and then you look at this and it's like a sun, and then you look at that, and you see a 666 in
Yeah.
CERN, and then you see the NASA logo, and then you look at what is NASA in Hebrew? It's beguiled. It's like, what the freak, man? Beguiled is what what Satan did to Eve, right? Beguiled her. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, the actual word, if you look up the is actually NASA. So it's like, dude, it's like everything is right there. The serpent's tongue and the NASA logo, the flat Earth flag and the World Health Organization and the UN map and all these different.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
it's got the serpent. World Health Organization's got the serpent over top of the flat Earth map. So it's
yeah,
almost like indicating
Yeah.
right there, this is the devil's kingdom that
Yeah.
he's trying to build, basically, right?
Yeah. And basically saying that, it just all it all gets really interesting, man. Really interesting. But so far it's a great show, man. We're almost at an hour. I think we did pretty good so far. Do you have anything else you wanted to bring up? Do you have some more notes?
I've got tons, man. I could go anywhere with this, but um, we were we were mentioning a little bit about frequencies and vibrations earlier, and this is another thing I really dove into. Um, okay. So the way I see it is the enemy, they're trying to basically attack us any way, every which way possible, right? So, and I listened to that one episode of yours where you guys got into you had a couple of guests and you got into the whole musical frequency thing, 432 verse 440.
Yes.
And that
It was
kind of makes a lot of
Kenny and Vicky. Yeah. Shout out to them.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was a fun episode.
That was a pretty good one. So who's to say that they're actually doing that, right? They're actually if they have a tool that they could use against us, I think they're gonna try and do it, right?
Yeah.
Musical frequencies could be one of them for sure. But another one that I really looked into was fabrics.
Oh yeah.
So
Yep. That's a good one.
yeah,
I think I heard you talk about it, but go ahead. Yeah, it was good. Go ahead.
so like we mentioned earlier, like everything's made up of vibrational frequencies. If you break everything down to the molecular level, you got, solids, liquids, gases. It's all molecules and they're all vibrating at different rates, which is what makes them, solid, liquid, gas, etc. So, uh, lost my train
It's
of
okay. You were
thought here.
talking about fabrics.
no, well,
I think you were
I'll,
gonna get into. I think you were gonna get into like the different fabrics that you wear and how it's
well, I'll spin off on that one. The Bible, you cut when God, when God saw Adam and when he's covered himself with palm or tree leaves, palm leaves, right? So we're still covering our bodies with plants. We're still covering our bodies the way the devil wanted us to cover our sin and God wanted us to wear what? Animal skin, right? That's what he clothed you in. So you think about when you're wearing rubber shoes and stuff like that, you're not grounded to the earth the way you should be.
Mm-hmm. That's another one for sure. Yeah.
Like you're not really taking in the nutrients that you should be in your body, and you're definitely with cotton or even rayon or whatever that stuff is, and like
Yeah.
polyester. It's bad for your body. That's why you get a lot more skin cancers out there, because you're soaking in all these dyes in your body,
Exactly.
sweating. Yeah.
But
So
not only that, like
it's huge.
there's been a huge push to like the more you go shopping for clothes, you're starting to see less of actual natural materials like cotton, and you're starting to see more like polyester and all that. And if you look into it, the vibrational frequencies of polyester is something like, I can't remember the exact number, but it's around like 15 megahertz, something like that, which is like the equivalent to like a sick or dying person.
Yeah,
So if you're
exactly.
wearing that, it's not only are you wearing polyester is derived from what? Petroleum,
petroleum.
plastic.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not good for your skin.
Yeah.
But they don't
But if you
care.
go all natural, you go with cotton and it's breathable, right? And I've had a friend tell me that they bought new bedding and then they started having really bad sleep, like they've been having bad dreams and sweating and everything. I'm like, well, what's the fabric? I can't remember what they told me, but it was polyester, something like that. And then I said, yeah, try switching to cotton, switch back to cotton, and all the problems went away.
Yep. And some
Interesting.
like
Yep.
they cancel each other out, and you're just like, it's weird, dude.
Yeah, there's some
There's
that are
this
5,000 and 5,000, and like you wear them, they cancel
Yeah.
themselves out. And I think the
yeah,
Bible
you're,
talks about wool mixing with wool with different garments. And
So yeah, so that's the other one I was just going to mention next is linen and wool. And there's that Bible verse that tells us not to mix them.
yep.
And apparently, so there's actual science behind that.
Prohibit
And
wearing wool and linen fabrics in one garment. It's Deuteronomy 22:11 and Leviticus 19:19.
It
yeah,
tells you not to do it. It's like, why? How did God know this? It's like when they talk about how like you circumcise a child after 8 days, like in the Bible, you're supposed to do, that's like the law, that's what you're supposed to do. Why did they just do that by chance? No, because they were told to, because in the 8th day, your body is the most high in vitamin K, that your body is going to heal really quickly when you're a child. So that's what you think, that there was a trial and error. They just snipped off your end of your ding dong. There's these things that God tells you that you're supposed to do, and we just don't follow them anymore. Like it's God. It's like the Bible is like doctor, like doctor ways. Like there's things in the Bible that like, even like, like circumcision, like if you're cleaner, the Jewish women didn't really have cervical cancer, stuff like that. That they did studies like this. It's just cleaner to do that. And how did God know? You think you're gonna have humans are just gonna trial and error that? No, they're not. There's a reason why they did that, because they were told to do that. You're not just gonna snip off the end of your dinghy because you're on a whim. You're like, you know what? I like this thing. No, you're not. Because you're like, I'm bleeding, dude. I can't stop bleeding. It's like, no, God. It's like there's things in the Bible that are laid out for you, and laid out from structure all the way down. And we're like, you know what? I like that idea, but now let's just do it this way. And we follow that's why he says, God says, don't be of the world. Don't be into the world things. Don't be in the worldly music. Don't be in the worldly anything, because it's all like inverted. It's all different. It's all things to keep you distracted from what you're supposed to really be doing.
So
right.
what the
Yeah.
Bible says that, the wool and linen. So the linen is at 5,000 hertz, and then pure wool is at 5,000 hertz as well. So what they say is when you have both of those together, they cancel out. So it's like zero. So it's like a low vibration. That's what I've heard
Yeah.
from people.
So that's the science behind it, and it has something to do with one vibrating left to right and one right to left or something like that, and that's why it cancels each other out.
Yeah,
But
which is man, it's all interesting stuff, man.
yeah, so after I learned about that, I'm like, you know what? Let's see if I can find. So I actually went out and I bought organic linen bedding. Uh, it wasn't cheap though, but I can tell you, man, it has actually made a difference in how I sleep.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I can't remember where I heard this, but I'm trying to find this information again. But apparently, hospital beds, 80 plus years ago, their bedding used to be made out of linen.
Oh yeah. Now it's
And
polyester. Now
so
I heard
that
it's
got
polyester, bro. So it's actually making people sicker.
right.
Ah,
And I gotta
jeez.
It's a
ask
racket.
why,
It's a racket.
Yeah.
right? They're doing whatever they can
It's like a
to bring
tennis
us down,
racket.
right?
I remember. I'm sorry. I remember when you said it's a racket, Jason, it reminded me of what's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. He passed away, but he's a conspiracy theorist that talks about that. But go ahead, man. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to laugh at that. I'm talking about people dying.
It's a racket.
Yeah.
It is. That's all it is. They don't care. The more sick, the more money they make on everything. The more clothes you buy, it's like, you're not winning. We're not winning. Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
We're winning, actually, man. We're winning.
winning.
We're winning more than them. You know why? Because the more that they enjoy Earth, the lesser they're going to be if they even do make it to heaven. So the
I'm just
lesser on
saying that
Earth.
they're making their rewards down here. So
Yeah,
they're getting their
exactly,
stuff, and
man. They're
that's
getting all the
cool.
rewards here, and all their women, the party, and the fame, the cars, the houses, the mansions, and yeah, we'll see, man. We're blessed to even have God, dude, to be able to help us out, man, and do what He does. It's amazing, man. I'm
Right.
happy,
Yeah.
even though people say, "Oh, I wish I was rich. I wish I was like." Honestly, dude, I'm so
No.
glad, bro. I'm so glad that I'm not like that.
I'd be dead. I'd be dead, dude, if I was rich, bro. I'd be like Charlie Sheen. So I'm glad I'm not rich. I'm 100%. I'm serious. I know myself. If I had all the money in the world, I wouldn't even, because then you wouldn't have to rely on anything that the Bible even shows you, because you have no problems. There's no. I think my problems are good. I like my problems.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there for
They make me
sure.
human. They make me human.
Yeah.
I like my fight. What are you doing there, Josh? It's almost time to go.
Nope. I'm just I was just looking at something out. It said it was like, what type of clothing did Jesus wear? I was trying to see if
Well, if it's up to them, they wore a dashiki and a and then he had long blonde hair and,
I wanted to
and a
see.
beard.
I just wanted to
Something.
see if there was anything like in the biblically, like about like maybe they said something like wool or whatever, and I just wanted to try to connect that. But
Well, back then they wore what they wore, dude. That stuff is they wore sandals and stuff like that.
oh, it
Like their
says the
feet
high
were
priest.
super
It says
dirty.
the people in I guess the high priest were wearing linen, garments of linen.
They're silk. That stuff was being made back then.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I was just trying to connect what we were talking about there, to something biblical. I was just trying to, as you guys were talking, I was kind of just looking at a few things biblically. It's what you do.
Yeah.
Well,
So it gets interesting because the enemy, they're always trying to take what God created and pervert it into their own creation, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
and another one that's been driving me crazy lately is the weather manipulation and the chemtrails. I don't know if you guys have a lot of that out there, but here it is
Dude, we have it
insane,
all
man.
the time. It's also insane here too. I know
Yeah.
we got
can't say chemtrails on here, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, they shut you down for everything now, because if you talk about it,
Yeah.
it says like you're
Yeah, we actually had an episode pulled for talking about that, but whatever. I mean,
well, it is what it is. Chemtrails,
just say cloud
vaccines.
seeding.
Yeah.
You guys seen the
Cloud
cloud
seeding. Yeah,
seeding?
there you go.
Yeah.
Like I wake up in the morning, it's clear skies, and 10 minutes later, it's all.
Dude, it's like
I'm like, God didn't do that. I know that for a fact, dude. That thing was.
yeah. It's crazy.
So here's an interesting thing. If you take that word and you enter it into YouTube and you hit search, you're almost going to get a similar result as you get with if you do the same thing with flat Earth. You're just going to get a whole bunch of stuff saying, "Oh no, it's just some crazy conspiracy theory. They're actually contrails, blah blah blah." And so you know how if you type in flat Earth in YouTube and then you get that thing that pops up about Wikipedia saying how it's just archaic, disproven.
Yep.
It's the same thing with the other one too.
Yeah. Anything now, man.
You're
Like
gonna get
anything that we're hitting, like we're over the target, they're gonna place that on there. So yeah, it's crazy, bro. But
You think we're back? You think we strike out on all the conspiracies? I'm pretty sure a couple of them are real. So it's like pick and choose your ones. I'm pretty sure chemtrails are real. That's got to be real, because I wake up in a beautiful. I do. The skies are beautifully blue every day where I live, and the next 7 o'clock in the morning, like I said, oh, you're like, what
yeah.
the? And then you'll see one jet that doesn't even have that. You're like, okay, that's weird. And then this one goes by, it's all, it starts putting it. There's no line that starts putting. It's like, okay.
All you have to
Yes.
do is go on Google. All you got to do is type in. You can type in geoengineering. What's the other one called? Stratospheric aerosol injection.
We're gonna Canada. Is it? How's the weather out there right now?
It's been very interesting, man. We
Cold?
had a cold snap, and I guess you guys go by Fahrenheit, or do you know Celsius at
Yeah,
all?
We're Fahrenheit, but we have to do
Um,
the math like
we're
in
we're
the water
different.
class. Yeah.
America's different in every way.
let's go by what I know, but it was like -40 for like a week,
That's
and
like 0
now
degrees Fahrenheit, isn't it?
I think it might be colder. I'm not sure the conversion, but
30
I think that's 10 below zero.
somewhere in there, huh?
I think.
Jeez,
and
bro. That's so cool.
and now all the snow's melting.
Wow.
It's been +12 in Celsius
Okay, it's
today.
Celsius. Okay. I was like plus 12.
It's like one extreme to the other. It's insane, man.
So plus 12, like
I
Fahrenheit.
know,
That's
I know.
so it's beautiful outside. Plus
Yeah,
5. Like, dude, that's freaking cold, bro. It's unknown Celsius. Oh, okay.
Exactly. I was like, plus 12. Wow.
I've been outside when it was like 10 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like freezing. That's like freezing,
That's
freezing
cool.
for us.
Yeah. I
Dude,
was in
I couldn't
or,
even pee
Tahoe
outside,
like
bro.
that.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, what I don't ever get cold. And I'm like, dude, this is a different type of cold. It's like your battery dies because it's so cold.
That's
Well,
crazy, man.
I guess we had a record high. I think it was yesterday for the year, but I can already tell where this is going to go. They're going to try and take this and push climate change 100%.
That's yeah, well, that's it's just crazy, bro. I see how everything is, man. Um okay, good. All right, well, we're at
But
10. We're probably at the time that we could probably anything else or any last words for the audience? We could probably have you back on to do some follow-up stuff, man.
yeah, for sure. I don't know. I mean, just question everything, right? Like you never know what they're gonna try and pull next. So just stay on your guard, trust in God, man.
That's it.
Just
Amen
yeah.
to that. And Jason, any last words for the audience, bro?
Uh, I'll just be repeating myself every time I say this. So
It's all
it's
good.
time, everybody. It's time. All of you out there, whoever's listening, it's time. It's time to gird up your loins and take on your full armor of God. So sorry, I'm stuttering right now, dude, but I'm a little. It's time to get the weak men and kick them out of here and bring in the masculine men again and start to take over this country again, this nation, and lead this nation into where it needs to be going. Follow God first, keep him first, keep your nose in the Bible and out of the drugs. Stay sober, dude. Stop.
Yeah.
Stay sober.
Definitely.
Study your
And
word. Study it till it makes you question everything.
and love
Alex,
yourself for who you are and how God created you.
yes, we are made in the image
Yeah.
of God. You know, it actually First Colossians 15, it says that Jesus is the image of the invisible God, which I think is really interesting. So yeah, I think that's a good point. You know, appreciate where you're at, even if you're going through struggles, if you're going through ups and downs right now, appreciate that you're being molded and shaped to being a better you, you know. I know that a lot of people are going through struggles right now, probably out there that are listening. Just know that God has your back. And, you know, we know that in the end, God wins. And we know that it's going to be, you know, getting closer to the end times. It's going to be frustrating for us as Christians because the persecution, because of what we're seeing is inverted. And it really wears on our hearts, you know, like when Alex was talking about the LGBT and then, we're talking about, you know, people dressed up as, you know, men dressed up as women going into libraries. I mean, it's meant to be like that. The birth pains are going to get stronger, and we're going to be put in situations where it's going to be hard as Christians, but this is nothing compared to how crazy it's going to get, you know. So we have to be expecting that, but don't allow anything like any agendas out there try to make sure you see the snake before you know allow it to affect you, because I know that there's a lot of gaslighting and I think there's a lot of that, you know, and they're trying to use this politicians, they're using a lot of shields out there for people to follow to lead you a direction that they want you to go instead of leading you to God. You know what I mean? Don't let people lead you away from
Mhm.
God. Don't let politicians, shields, these people need to lead you to God. If they are really about God's business and really about the kingdom of heaven, they're going to lead you to the Bible and lead you to God. They will not lead you into politic world. You know, all that stuff is just made for the world. And Jesus says to be not of this world. That's what we need to be. So we need to practice that. And that's what we need to do, you know, and let's take a stand and let's say that the Bible is the true absolute word of God, and this is the truth, and everything else, we let God be truth, every man a liar. We say that a lot, but so let's all make sure we're prayed up and be ready to go. So we'll end this in prayer. So Father God, in the name of Jesus, we appreciate everything you do for us. Thank you, Lord, for giving us this platform. Thank you for introducing us to Alex, and thank you for this night. Thank you for giving us another breath of life. I just saw on someone's Instagram that their brother just passed away. I pray for Ed Bassmaster. I know that he's a big Instagram star, but it just popped up on my feed, and I was like, dang, man, I love my brother. I'd feel so bad if something like that happened. So I just want to pray for everyone out there that's going through a loss. I have a friend at work, his mother-in-law just passed away. I want to pray for anybody that's going through a loss, and I want to pray that people that feel, depressed or stressed or uncomfortable, or they have any kind of infirmary, I want to pray that you comfort them, Lord, and show them that, we're blessed to even be able to live, to even have life, or to even have you, God, and blessed for you to even give us your son, Jesus Christ, to die on the cross. I just want to say thank you for this night. Thank you for this podcast. Thank you for this show. Thank you for the audience that listens. We appreciate everything you do for us, Lord, but this is all for you. Just if you could, Lord, just use us as vessels. I want to pray that when I do this debate on the 23rd, that you let the Holy Spirit come through me, and I'm able to be like Daniel in the lion's den. If someone's trying to come at me like a lion, Lord, let me be like Daniel and not be able to be attacked. I just want to say that. And anybody that out there struggling with drugs, like Jason mentioned, anybody struggling with alcohol, cigarettes, tobacco, pornography, sex addiction, idolatry, adultery, anything like that, Lord, please just help us to supernaturally break any of those chains. Please, Lord, thank you. We love you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord, for
Amen.
everything. Hey, Alex, thank you, man. It was a fun show. Jason, thank you for all the comedic stuff tonight, making me laugh. I had fun. We appreciate it. And everybody that's listening, please share the show. If you're offended by anything we said, or, we're just this is just an open conversation. This
Get
is
over
not
it.
rehearsed. This is not rehearsed or anything like
Get
that. There's
over
no
it.
script to this. It was just about fun. So please share
Get
the
over
show, give us 5-star review, and leave comments below. Thank you. We love you. And have a blessed day and night.